browser. Exit out of the browser.
Where?
Now it shows you here, you're live. There you go.
I got it. Can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Cranston, can you hear me? Why can't they hear me?
I think it's his audio.
I think it's your audio, Mr. Cranston. We're okay here, I believe. Can you hear me now, Mr. Cranston?
Right. So
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
okay, he got it.
Anyway, well, I see Mr. Smith's here now. I'll get him in here.
All right.
Are you good now?
Mr. Smith, can you hear me? Good morning, Mr. Smith. Can you hear me?
Morning, Judge.
Morning, Mr. Smith, and we've got Mr. Cranston here also. You're here on Peralta?
Yes.
Hey, he's in the waiting room. I'll bring him in too. Okay, can you hear us, Mr. Peralta? Can you hear us?
Seems like he's responding, but we can't hear him.
Nope.
Nope.
Anyway, what are we doing, gentlemen?
Judge, we would just be, our plan is to set this for a hearing on the petition to rescind. But we would like to, if possible, avoid setting it for a Zoom hearing. So if it would be okay with the court, I would just be asking if we could set it for status for a month down the line and set it for hearing at that time.
We've got no indication on when we're gonna go from Zoom. We've done Zoom hearings.
Okay. Then in that case, we
I mean,
can.
if I had some idea as far as when we were gonna get back into the position where we would be live, and, you know, personally, hopefully it won't be that long, but
Sure.
and no indication when, and I mean, the matters can only be continued for so long.
Sure.
And I unfortunately don't have, I'm in my own courtroom, I don't have Judge Vorderstrasse's calendar in front of me. Mr. Smith, how far out was she setting things?
Judge, so far as specific hearings, we really haven't had enough experience with that for me to say. I mean, again, I think either set this for a hearing or maybe a status date in a couple of weeks, because I talked to Mr. Cranston earlier this morning, and he indicated he'd like to discuss the case. So maybe like a 2-week status date, and then we could set up a hearing from there. Does that work, Brett?
Yeah, that would be fine with me.
Okay. Like 460 cases. Is that the 26th?
Yeah, we're free the 26th, so that works.
26th of June, then at 9 o'clock.
26th of June, 9 o'clock for status.
Virtual 405.
Judge, we do also have a memo from pretrial recommending defendant's release from pretrial bond services. So that would obviously that would be our request as well.
Judge, I'm not in receipt of that memo, but I'll take Mr. Cranston's word at that. I don't have a position on it pre-trial, sir.
It's a memo dated June 10th. It says he was released to pretrial bond service on 2/28/20. The following conditions: curfew, no drugs, alcohol, no firearms, no dangerous weapons. It says he's currently assessed as a minimum risk, a pretrial risk assessment, and has been fully compliant. This time removal from pretrial is respectfully recommended. Appears there's a state case in here too. Unfortunately, the state's not here because he's also charged with possession of drug paraphernalia. So let the state know about the next date. Give me a written order, please. Take him off of pretrial bond services and we'll go from there, and obviously you have to email that in, and then, once I sign it, in the clerk's office, I'll email it back to both of you, and I'll, the clerk to send a copy of it to the, and a copy of it.
Unfortunately, I'm getting a lot of audio dropping, so I think I heard that you wanted a written order and that you were.
I need a written order stating that he's being taken off of pretrial.
Okay.
And then, so you have to email that in, and then after it's emailed in, I will sign it. My clerk, it's my understanding, will then send it back to both you and Mr. Smith, and I'll direct them to send it back to a copy to the state too, because of the CM. Make sure you have all 3 case numbers on it. And I will also have the clerk then send a copy of it to pretrial bond services so that they have a copy and they'll know that he's no longer on pretrial.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
And obviously, he's off of this for whatever reason. Oh, it looks like he's back in the waiting room here. Mr. Peralta, can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me, Mr. Peralta?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, just so you know, when you popped off and then now you're back and we can hear you and you can hear us, by agreement, your attorney and Mr. Smith, on behalf of the village, the matter is being continued for 2 weeks until June 26th, and that's for status and to set a date for a hearing. Also, your attorney made a motion to take you off of pretrial bond services because of a favorable memorandum from pretrial bond services. So you don't have to report to pretrial anymore, but the bottom line is this. You still can't have as conditions of your bond, any drugs, no driving without a valid driver's license, no alcohol, no weapons. You understand that?
Yes, I understand.
But realistically, you understand, because of the fact that you've been compliant on pretrial, you're being taken off of pretrial. You're still on bond. Those conditions are still in effect. Screw up. State's going to file a petition to raise your bond, and you're going to find yourself sitting in a Lake County jail. You understand that?
Yes, I understand.
Don't screw up.
Yeah.
And Mr. Cronson, when we're done with this, we talk to him, make sure he understands his responsibilities and the ramifications if he goes up on bond.
Will
Okay?
do, Judge. Yes.
Okay, anything else, gentlemen?
Judge, do you want a written order court date or just a pre-trial issue?
Hold on, we've got a lot of static.
Did you want a written order as a new date or for the release of pretrial?
Just to release the pretrial, we don't need, you don't have to include the new.
Okay, I'll write that up and get that over to you.
All right,
Thanks, everybody.
Judge.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Judge, you have one matter at 10:30 with Mr. Ratak. I'll
Hold
plan
on.
on coming back at 10 for that.
Hold on 1 second, let me get these people out of here. Okay. Now it's you, Mr. Smith.
Judge, Mr. Ratak and I have a 10 o'clock case that was set for hearing Maria Rodriguez. He's indicated not going to proceed on that, but I'm guessing at this point he's not going to be here till 10 o'clock. So I'll check back in. If he doesn't show up, I'll just send over an order to that effect that we're going to continue it. I don't know what date he wanted, but I'll try to find that out.
That's fine. Why don't you just, we will recess until 10 o'clock and go from there.
Okay, thanks, Judge.
Yep. me. Mr. Rataka, can you hear me?
Good morning, Judge. I have a Maria Rodriguez, Your Honor.
Right,
It's set for hearing
okay, and I got
Due to-
Mr. Smith.
due to the virus, Your Honor. I'm going to ask that it be continued.
Okay, any objection to that, Mr. Smith?
No, Judge, that's fine. I called off my officers. Mr. Rataka and I talked yesterday afternoon.
When,
Your Honor.
go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, do you want to set it for another hearing? Do you want to set it for status? What's your pleasure, Mr. Rataka?
Set it for status, please.
How's June 26th?
June 26th. 405 status, correct?
Yes, sir. 9
Your
o'clock.
Honor. Thank you, Judge. Judge, I also have a Dion Hallbert.
Diane Halbert.
Give me the file, please.
It's right here, 19 DT 1511.
19 DT 1511.
Town representative from before.
Right. Your Honor, this is a case that Mr. Boucher left the jurisdiction.
He's somewhere. I hope he's still somewhere.
Yeah.
Hold on, my clerk just said it's up when?
August 7th at 9 o'clock.
August 7th at 9 o'clock.
There was a motion to take her off a pretrial. She's been on pretrial for approximately a year and a half, 2 years,
No, for 9 months.
9 months now.
Okay, it doesn't appear though, we don't have the file because it's been already moved to August 7th at 9 o'clock. We'll just keep it on that August 7th at 9 o'clock for hearing on whether to take her off a pretrial. Is it a state case or is it,
No, it's Lake Villa.
you
Yeah, Judge,
let-
that's Mr. Hartman. I assume he obviously wasn't on the call today. I can let him know that that's the same date.
Can I have it on June 26th? Just to get her off a pretrial?
We can put it on June 26th at 9 o'clock for defense motion for take her off a pretrial. What I would suggest though, Mr. Rataka, contact pretrial, so we have a memo from them as far as their position, as far as what her compliance has been, and then is Mr. Boucher still the attorney of record?
Mr. Boucher, Your Honor?
Is he still the attorney of record?
I think he is, Your Honor.
So you need to file an appearance then?
Yes, sir.
Okay, huh?
No one's ever filed.
Actually, nobody's filed an appearance from what, my clerk says. So file an appearance. Why don't you, is there a motion though up?
No.
It doesn't appear that there's a written motion as far as, the release from pretrial. So why don't you file a motion have her released from pretrial, contact pretrial so that they have an up-to-date memo with regards to her compliance, and then, we'll send notice to the appropriate, prosecutor, and that's about it.
Thank you, Judge.
And then we'll strike the August date.
Thank you, Judge. You look
Judge, is
good.
it set for June 26th for status of motion then, or?
No,
June
actually,
26th.
okay, Mr. Rataka, how about getting the motion on, today is the 12th, right?
That's correct.
So, try and get the motion on file and with a copy sent to the appropriate local prosecutor within a week. That way, they'll have a copy of it and be ready to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, thanks, Judge.
Yep. So are we done?
We are done.